So a new adventure is out tomorrow, and no doubt everyone will be asking when the servers are back online without actually looking at any social media posts or websites. This is why the Waffle House has a new host. Hey, you beautiful Buccaneers, Falcore here. So long gone are the days of the rise of Flameheart. That page has turned, but we're still yet to see any results of this, and finally get to see the Sassy Bone Squatch in his full form. But we are venturing down a whole new story route revolving around Tasha and her childhood hero, Briggsy. For those who don't know, Tasha went on a quest in the last adventure in search of a talisman left by her idol. But unfortunately, this talisman also came with a curse, and Tasha, just like Wanda the Warsmith, is falling victim to the same bony outcome. But it appears that the curse has taken hold a lot more than its initial beginnings, because at Ancient Spire Outpost, you can now see that the curse has spread entirely to her other arm. But when you get close, she doesn't seem to even care about it. Good job, Tasha! Madame Olivia told you specifically to hide this curse, yet here you are flaunting your new diet plan to the world. It won't be long until dear Tasha begins to look like this. But thanks to the Christmas teasers, we kind of have a general idea of where this story is heading. Apparently, there is a secret temple out there somewhere, a trial of sorts that holds a curse and a cure that will test us, and if passed, will reveal the location of the Ancients' dwelling within the Sea of the Damned, which is pretty exciting, as it means that in adventures to come or even seasonal updates to come, this land of the Ancients will finally be revealed. I just hope it's not going to be another free-for-all TDM arena like the previous adventure, but let's not go into that. Now, Briggsy, not really the most notorious of villains to hit the seas, and not technically a villain. A pirate, yes. A villain, not so much. Her catchphrase, "I never asked to be cursed," says it all, really. The evil agenda she had was only to find a cure for her curse. Once that was done, she could just go back to stuffing her face with grog and, being a pirate. But evil? Nah, not so much. She falls in the same category as our Flameheart Jr., aka the Servant of Flame. Evil? No. Hellbent on winning his father's trust by doing anything? Yes. Not evil, just made some really bad choices. And much like Briggsy, he too never asked to be cursed. He was just really thirsty. In fact, the only skeleton lord who purposefully wanted to be cursed is King Bobblehead himself, who reveled in it and idolized it. Heck, he even made his own religious cult around it. People like the Gold Hoarder, for example, fell victim to it, but it was merely the result of a hard day's work hoarding as much gold as possible, and came with a few advantages. Being able to peer into the Sea of the Damned with his veilstone eyes, being able to scour the seabed for lost change without having to breathe, an unending life to gloat over his hoard, and no more itchy butt crack. So there is still some good left in old Briggsy, and it appears looking at the cover art for this new adventure, Briggsy will in fact, at some point, once again, be flesh and blood. How do I know this? Why would you sculpt an entire model of fleshy Briggsy only to have her appear in a few thumbnails? Now you might argue that Briggsy has had a human model for the longest time, as she is seen as a hologram at the end of Shores of Gold. But if you look closely, this is a very basic mannequin type model, and not a finished piece. So to add extra flair and extra details to the model just signifies that the Briggsy model is going to be used a lot in the future. Or it could be that Briggsy will become the lead storyteller for adventures to come. I mean, she literally is the legendary storyteller. Maybe occasionally in updates to come, we will follow her path and be greeted with visions of her past in her former glory, sailing around in her notorious vessel, the Homeward Dove. But Briggsy was named as such for her inhuman ability to free herself from any prison, or brig, and although she now lives her days as essentially a skull, her life force is slowly fading, which means she will eventually visit the Sea of the Damned like all of us. And the Sea of the Damned is essentially a prison for the dead, especially those who do not follow the pirate code. So I'm just throwing this out here, maybe she'll have to go in search of allies she once knew when she was flesh and blood, to break free from her eternal prison. I mean, they did showcase Briggsy as a phantom emerging from a portal in the Christmas teases, so I see this as a definite outcome. I have no doubt we'll see Briggsy once again, walking around flaunting her wealth within the Sea of Thieves, but what would her role be? Perhaps an introduction to something else that was mentioned within these teasers: guilds. A lot of people are theorizing that the present factions will be the new guild hierarchy, but just like Season 8, we could potentially see new adventurer factions representing themselves as a guild with important lore characters as their leaders. We have the Ancients, we have the Dark Brethren, hell, we've even got Captain Jack Sparrow and crew, and now we've got Briggsy. Maybe all these adventures are leading up to the introduction of Briggsy being one of these new factions, the legendary storytellers. Thanks for watching, peeps. Before I go, I just want to shout out the wonderful people over at Apex Gaming PCs. They have been a sponsor for the channel and the hardware behind the channel's production for a long time now. They offer some great builds for people who haven't got the foggiest how to build a custom setup. You can either pick from a bespoke line that will tell you the sort of games you can play in HD, or you can do a little research of your own and craft your very own rig. Plus, if you use code Falcore at checkout, you can save some cash, and all links are down below. But until next time, calm seas and wind in your sails. Peace!